All right, peeps, let's have a sip of tea because we are doing true confessions today. Dark confessions, where I tell you the absolute truth about how I feel about specific decks that I've had in my collection for a long or at least a longer period of time. So this is not my first impressions of a deck. It's not my unboxing thoughts. This is like, where are I, incorrect English there, where am I with this deck? How is it feeling? What kind of relationship do we have? I want to give you some insight into these decks so that you can decide if you want to make a purchase of the deck, or you can decide if you want to pull it off your shelves and try working with it again, or if it's a good time to let it stay in vacation mode. Let's have a sip of tea. Okay, so today we are talking about the Insight Editions Horror Tarot. I have an original unboxing as this deck was gifted to me, and I will put that in the description box down below for you to check out if you would like to. The artwork is by Abigail, let me make sure. I always forget her name and I love her artwork. I'm pretty sure it's Abigail Larson, right guys? Yes, thank you. There it is, illustrated by Abigail Larson, written by Aria Mitter and Minerva Siegel. The guidebook is whatever. The guidebook was always whatever. So this is supposed to be a dark tarot set featuring scenes and characters inspired by classic horror literature, films, and beyond in gorgeous original illustrations. Now, everyone did not like this deck. Okay, first of all, you got to understand we were coming off of Darkwood Tarot, which was insane. It's an amazing tarot deck. I think so many of us are freaking in love with that deck. We love it so much. And it was really intentionally crafted. The guidebook is amazing. It takes you to another place, like Darkwood Tarot forever, right? So we were all excited for this deck with this artwork. How could we not be, right? But Insight Editions doesn't have a great reputation. And as it got closer to the release date, and some of my tarot friends and sisters and brothers in the cards were receiving their decks, they were like, Racine, this deck is not worth the price. It's really phoned in. It feels really like it was just pumped out due to popularity. The artists themselves did not receive what they should have for the amount of work that they put in by this particular publishing house, was my understanding. And it wasn't something that I think any of us were really feeling called to continue supporting that publishing house. At least I wasn't. And if what I had heard at the time is true, I still don't feel like supporting it, right? But I was gifted the deck, and you know, I'm not going to throw the deck out. It's alive. It's already produced. It's already been purchased. To throw it out adds to the landfill. Like I figured I'm gonna leave it on the shelf. We'll see where it goes, right? I should say as well, the minor arcana are really phoned in. Even now, my opinion is still the minor arcana are really phoned in. But my true confession is, after all this time, I kind of like this deck. I kind of like this deck. And it's really, really good in client readings for clarity with a little bit of that like romance. It brings kind of a fairy tale, a gothic fairy tale aspect to readings. It's enjoyable to look at. I like the way the deck shuffles for the most part. I have the deck upside down. That's fun. That's a fun thing. It is true dark confessions. So for the most part, I like the artwork. As I said, the minors are definitely phoned in, but it's really, really clear as a reader. And I've been using it kind of a lot. Not so much for really serious, in-depth personal readings. You know, I'm always going to go to a deck like Tarot of Vampires or Murder of Crows or the Darkwood Tarot if I really want to get in depth for myself. But for client readings where I see this imagery when I ask what deck I'm supposed to use, I always find that it does bring something to the table for the client. It allows me to access some information for them that they really need. Now, is this the best deck ever made? Is this a favorite of mine? No, but I actually kind of like it. And it's a dark confession because I don't think I'm supposed to. I feel like I should not like this deck because it's an Insight Editions deck, and it's, you know, it wasn't created intentionally as I think tarot decks should be, but I do kind of like this deck. So if you have this deck in your collection too, and you're feeling like, man, you know, I purchased it, I'm really conflicted, but I would say give the deck a try, pull it off the shelf, work with it a little bit, see how it feels, especially this time of year. I'm recording this at the beginning of October, especially this time of year, you know, it is very autumnal themed. And I do think it's worth having. I don't intend to get rid of it. Again, like I said, it's not like a ride or die for me, but it does have a purpose and a place within my collection. And I do enjoy working with it. I do enjoy working with it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm very thankful that I personally didn't make the financial investment, and I like to say thank you to the viewer and wonderful friend in the cards who gifted it to me. But I can definitely say that there is a place for this deck in my collection though, and it does offer insight in client readings. So it's not one that I am going to get rid of or donate. It's one that's going to stay in my collection, and there is a place for Abigail Larson's horror tarot. And my hope and my intention for her going forward is that she's able to continue to have projects that really support her and provide a level of exchange that's reasonable and abundant for her, because Abigail's artwork is absolutely gorgeous for those like myself who like a darker aesthetic. And the Darkwood Tarot is so freaking special. And I do believe she has a new tarot deck in the works from what I've seen, so I'm excited to see what's to come in the future from her. And in the meantime, my dark confession is I do actually kind of like this horror tarot. I hope you're all doing well out there in the world. I am sending you, as always, oceans of love, and I will, of course, see you in the next video. Take care.